they are also to be worshipped. So, this wisdom, and wisdom is again into two parts. The general wisdom, theoretical wisdom, the philosophical wisdom, and number two, the wisdom behind the commandments. Why this fasting has been made imperative upon you? It has a wisdom behind it. Why these 5 prayers a day? They have a wisdom behind them. Why all these things? So wisdom of the commandments and wisdom regarding the philosophical questions and quests of human beings. So they become close to metaphysics, philosophy, metaphysics. It has connection with the general and the wisdom of Iman or faith. And sociology comes together, the commandments regarding individual behavior and the guidance regarding the politico-socio-economic system that human beings should adopt and enforce. So these are the two kinds of knowledge. And they are based on my first submission. Man is composed of two beings. The animal being, the spiritual being. And it has two knowledges. The animal being is earning knowledge, acquiring knowledge, step by step, and it will reach to unimaginable heights, What has happened, let me say a few words more, that's all. The tragedy of humanity at this time is that the whole focus of attention of humanity is on the acquired knowledge. It has just discarded, put the revealed knowledge away. No attention to it. Had all this scientific and technological development been supplemented alongside with that, the spiritual knowledge, there would have been nothing bad. But now what had happened is, we have closed one eye of ours. Believe. We don't believe. Maybe. Can't say for sure that there is God. Maybe there is one. But the universe is very much here. We must apply our intellect to understand this universe. We can't say whether there is some human soul or spirit also. Maybe there is some. But the body is very much here. So we have to look after it. We can't say whether there is any life after death. We can't say. Maybe, but we can't say. But this life is here. It is real. So we have to focus our attention to this life. In this way, for those of you who know the word Dajjal and the Antichrist in the West, that big human catastrophe which is going to come, one-eyed Dajjal, according to our traditions. And that is one eye. Allah gave us two eyes. The spiritual knowledge and the material knowledge. We have closed one and opened the other to the extent, extreme extent. This is the calamity. Now our knowledge has become destructive. Humanity is fearful at any time. Any accidental war can start and which can wipe out life from this planet. The good old planet Earth. It can happen. Lastly, Allama Iqbal's philosophy is called the philosophy of self, khudi. One of his disciples, he asked him, what's the source of your philosophy? Is it from Nietzsche or Bergson or some other person? Sayyid Nazir Niyazi was one of his disciples, so to say. Iqbal said to him, okay, come tomorrow at that time and I will dictate to you. He told us in one of our Quran conferences that I was very glad that the poet of the East will dictate to me the source of his philosophy of khudi, philosophy of self. So I went there very happily, but he said, take out Quran from that shelf. I became frustrated. I thought he will say, take out some history of philosophy book, Quran. And he said, that is Surah Al-Hashr, It is chapter number 59 and the ayah is 19. وَلَا تَكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ نَسُوا اللَّهَ فَأَنْسَاهُمْ أَنفُسَهُمْ. Don't be like those who forgot Allah. And Allah, in return, made them forgetful from their own selves. وَلَا تَكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ نَسُوا اللَّهَ. Don't become like those who forgot Allah. And what was the punishment for that from Allah? فَأَنْسَاهُمْ أَنفُسَهُمْ. He made them forgetful of their own self. Now what is that self? Is any human being forgetful of the needs of his animal body? If there is some disease, we run to the doctors. We wash our bodies with soaps and so on and so forth. Who is forgetful of his body? His animal being. So what is that self which human beings forget, ignore? That is that spiritual self. And let me quote finally. We may call it a verse from Upanishads, the Hindu scripture. Very beautiful. Man in his ignorance, man in his ignorance identifies himself with the material sheets which encompass his real self. Real self is something else within you. And these are the material sheets, these bones and this flesh and this skin. These are the material sheets of that real sense hidden within you. But man in his ignorance identifies himself with the material sheets which encompass his real self. Thank you very much.